Okay, boys and girls, so I'm gonna now show you the demonstration that I kind of expected a lot of you to come up with, rather than just giving me a ratio of this is what should make the bag burst. I was looking for more of a, these are the steps you would take to get to a ratio that would make the bag burst. So this is how I would have approached it. So I'm gonna start off by making my 1-to-1 ratio like I did previously. So we've seen this multiple times now. So I'm gonna put in 1 tablespoon of vinegar. And again, take it out and flatten the bag so that no reaction starts to take place. Now I'm gonna take my 1 tablespoon of baking soda and place it in the bag. Get as much air out as before, close it up nice and tight, and then we're gonna go and go ahead and see a reaction taking place. And obviously we've seen this before, gas is released, but not a whole lot. But you know, looking at it, I would say, okay, the more I add, the more gas I'm gonna get. But I don't necessarily need a lot of materials. I don't wanna do 1-to-1 and just increase to 2 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons. So I'm gonna stick with 1 tablespoon of baking soda. So there's my first one. And now I'm going to move to my second one. So now my next step is, 2, I don't think is gonna give us much. I don't think 3 is gonna do a whole lot for us either. But I think I'm gonna jump straight to 4. So I'm gonna put 4 tablespoons in and see where we go from there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 tablespoons of vinegar. Let that flatten out. And now 1 tablespoon of baking soda. Place that in there. Get as much air out as possible. Seal it up nice and tight. Make sure we have a good seal, because now we're gonna see what 4 will do. Ready? So we have quite a lot going on. Bag is filling up. And the seam might pop, but in one of our experiments, the seam did pop. But in this one, the bag is very stiff, but the seam didn't burst. So I was kind of quite surprised in the other group, one of the groups, that the seam actually did burst. So we have not enough in there to create a reaction for this one. So I'm gonna set that one aside and let that sit there. So now I'm gonna go to 1 tablespoon of baking soda and 5 tablespoons of vinegar. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now again, take this out. That seems like a pretty fair amount of vinegar, but remember, we're still trying to keep the smallest amount of material possible. So now 1 measured tablespoon of baking soda. Much air out of it as possible. Really good tight seal. When I did this before, there was a very interesting thing that happened, and I'm hoping we're gonna get to see again. So ready, and let's go. Now, as we see, we have a lot of reaction going on. So we wanna focus on the bag. Oh, there it burst. The seam burst again. Actually, it was not the seam. What I want you to see was the bag itself burst. And that's really what we were looking to happen. Not just the seam that we sealed, but the actual bag itself. So a 1-to-5 ratio is actually what did it, what took care of our bag bursting. And I hope you enjoyed this demonstration. and how we arrived at our conclusion. All right, thank you very much.